Hey guys, we're back. Hopefully you have what I have for example 4. So I completed the square. Here's my work. Here's the equation I came up with. I found out that P was 5/2 or 2.5. So my vertex was at 1, -4. My focus was 2.5 spaces above it. My directrix was 2.5 spaces below it. And I did my table of values to come up with what my parabola should look like. So hopefully you guys are feeling pretty confident about that. So let's move on to the last couple of examples. We're almost done. Example 5, both parts. We're being given a picture of a parabola and we have to come up with the equation. So one of the things you want to identify for sure is your vertex. So as we're looking at letter A, we can clearly see that our vertex is at the origin. So we are at 0, 0. The second thing that we want to identify is what P is. All right, so remember P is the distance from the vertex to the focus. It's also the distance from the vertex to the directrix. Now in this particular picture, we don't even see the focus at all, but we do see the directrix. It is a half a space above it. Well, what would that mean for the focus? That would mean that the focus would be half a space below it. And so that means that P is going to be -1/2. Why is it negative? Because our parabola opened down. So we found out that it was a half a space away, but we made it a negative because our parabola was opening down instead of up. So if we go back to the formula that we've been working on, and I'm just writing it here real quick, and then we have the x minus h squared plus k. All right, that's the formula that we are working on. So we are going to plug in the p, which the p is a -1/2. We're going to plug in the h, which is 0. And we're also going to plug in the k. All right, what happens if P is -1/2? That turns that whole denominator into a -2. And then if you have x minus 0, that's really just an x squared. And I don't need to write the plus 0. And so this is my equation for letter A. Pretty easy. All right, letter B. Remember, we want to identify the vertex and the value for P. So let's first figure out the vertex. So our vertex looks like it's at the point 3, -1. So right there gives us the h and the k. Now we need to figure out the value for P. Remember, that's the distance between the vertex and the focus. And ours is 3 spaces away. Our parabola is opening up. That means P is positive, so it is a +3. So if I go back to this formula right here, I've got y equals 1/4 times 3. In parentheses, I'm going to have x minus h. My h is 3 squared, and then plus k, and my k is a -1. So really the only thing that I need to do to make this my final answer is just change what 4 times 3 is. So I'm going to have the fraction 1/12 onto x minus 3 squared minus 1. And that is it. All right, last example. Let's get through this quickly. It says write the standard equation. So basically, instead of a picture, we have been given all the information. I, however, like to kind of draw a picture just because I'm a visual person. So one thing I know is, first of all, this should not say origin. This should say vertex. That is definitely a typo, which means this one should also say vertex, so I apologize. And C is okay. Okay, so the vertex is at 0, 0, and the focus is at 0, -5. Here's a vertex, here's the focus. What do I know about this parabola just based on that information? Well, I know that the parabola opens around the focus. So that tells me that my parabola is going to open down, which means my value for P needs to be negative. So let's look and see how much space there is between the vertex and the focus. There are 5 units, but P has to be negative because the parabola is opening down. the vertex is 0, 0, I'm going to go back to this right here that we've been using. So we're going to have y equals 1 over 4 times p. Well, if p is -5, 4 times -5 is -20. And the h and the k are both zeros because our vertex is the origin. So I just need that for the answer. All right, letter B. We know the vertex is 0, 0. The directrix is y equals 12. So let's just say up here is 12. That's the directrix. All right, remember P tells us the distance between the vertex and the directrix, which is 12. But remember that your parabola always opens away from your directrix. That means that my parabola is going to open down, which means that my value for P also again has to be negative. So it's going to be a -12 instead of a +12 because my parabola has to open away from the directrix. So again, if we go back to this formula right here, so I'm going to do 1 over 4 times -12 is -48. My h and my k are both 0, and so this is my answer for B. Not too shabby. All right, last one, y'all. Let's take a look at what we have so I can feed these dogs because I'm about to get on my last nerve. We have a focus at 0, 4. So right here, there's our focus. We have a directrix, a horizontal line at -4. So right here. Now what didn't they give us this time? Well, they didn't give us the vertex. But remember, P is the distance between your vertex and your focus and your vertex and your directrix. That means that your vertex has to be smack dab in the middle of those two. And what's going to be directly in the middle of those 8 spaces? Well, 4 units away this way and 4 units away this way lands us right here. So I now know that my vertex is also the origin. So we need to find P. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be positive or negative this time? If you guessed positive, you are right, because remember it opens around the focus. So it's going to open up and it's 4 units away. My h and my k are also 0 because my origin, or my vertex is 0, 0. So I have 1 over 4p. 4 times 4 is 16. And I don't need to worry about the h and the k because they were both zeros. And that is the final answer. All right, so your homework assignment is on Ren Web. It's going to be dealing with these parabolas that open up and down. Tomorrow's video, we'll talk about parabolas that open to the left and to the right. We'll be doing a lot of practice this week. You guys will have plenty of opportunities to ask me for help. Send me emails if there's something you're getting stuck on. We'll definitely have a Zoom session at some point. And then Friday we will have the quiz. So let's kind of enjoy just having a whole week to look over this section together. And y'all definitely let me know if and when you need help, okay? Have a great day.